Welcome to another one of my live stream lectures. And before we get started, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel. I'm really excited as a content creator in relation to the direction I'm going to take my channel in 2025. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's very important lecture, which is yes, you need a job or some type of primary source of income, even if you are a content creator. My channel is a little over 4 years old. My channel has been monetized for a little over 2 years. And although my channel is monetized, I have a primary source of income, people. Real talk. I retired from state government September 2023, which is my primary source of income. So yes, if you are a content creator, you still need to get up and take your behind to work. I'm keeping it real. You need to have some kind of other source of primary income, irregardless of what you're making as a content creator. If your channel is monetized, it just makes real good business sense to have more than one stream of income. That's always been a good business sense model. You gotta have more than one stream of income, especially in this day and time. And this is real talk, because your household bills are not going to fluctuate. You got to be able to take care of yourself with a primary source of income. If you're just relying on a YouTube check, or if you're just relying on any kind of one source of income, rather it's from one job, or rather it's from one part-time job, or rather it's from your retirement income, if you are only relying on one source of income in this economy, that's a recipe for financial destruction. And that's real talk. As a content creator, as a monetized channel, my YouTube checks, I don't even consider that as income, because that money can go up or down. I don't use my YouTube income to pay my bills, people, in any shape, form, or fashion. Real talk. And I'm telling you, because I just meet so many people in the real world. I have a lot of conversations with people in the real world who will be asking me questions about, how much money do you make as a content creator when channel is monetized? I want to do this and make a whole lot of money, because I'm going to quit my job and I just want to be a content creator. And I'll be looking at them, and I just look at them for a moment, and I would say to them, let me tell you something. It's never a good idea, business sense, to have one stream of income. And even if a person is a content creator and they don't, and they just living off that YouTube check, what if YouTube shuts you down? And then that income is immediately gone. But if that YouTube money you were making, or that YouTube check, if that was just considered as another stream of income, but you have a primary source of income, and YouTube shut you down, big deal. Your bills are still going to get paid from your primary source of income. It is not going to have an impact on your livelihood, people. And this is real talk. And because many people, thinking they can just come on these platforms and, I'm going to make a whole lot of money, I'm going to quit my 9-to-5 job. And let me tell you something. For content creators who, I'm not saying that you can't make a living off YouTube, but for content creators who are making a living off their YouTube check, let me break this thing down to you. It took years of hard work behind the scene for that particular content creator to get to the point where they can elevate their income to the point where they can quit their day job. And that's what a lot of people don't want to wrap their mind around. You can take the most successful, wealthiest content creator in the world, but understand they didn't just wake up to making that level of income overnight. It took years, 3, 4, 5, 6 years behind the scene for their income to get to a level where they can say, I'm comfortable enough now, I can quit my day job, or I can quit my primary source of income. And that's just basic business sense in any business. You can start any business. I don't care if it's a cosmetology business, an auto shop business, or cleaning detail business, or a catering business. Anybody with any kind of sound thinking is going to understand. In any kind of business you have, that first 5 years, people, you ain't making no money because you're spending that first 5 years cultivating, developing, and nurturing that business to get to the point where now it's making enough money where you can live off and take care of yourself and your family and purchase your own 401 and your medical insurance and your life insurance and your dealer insurance and all of those insurances that you're going to have to purchase yourself when you become self-employed working for yourself. Because if you're a content creator and channel is monetized, we're considered independent contractors. So you better make sure, if you want to make the decision to become a full-time content creator, first of all, you have to ask yourself, have I put in the blood work, the footwork behind the scene, a good 5 years of generating significant amount of money on an ongoing basis for every single month to sustain myself before I quit that day job? And even if being a content creator is your only source of income, that don't make good business sense for that to be your only source of income. This day and time, you got to have multiple streams of income. You know, I have my retirement income. I have a couple of retirement checks hitting me for the rest of my life. That's 2 streams of income. I get royalty checks from my publishing company from my book title, Awake Financial Freedom, from Audiobook Network. It's a publishing company that sends me royalty checks, and Page Publishing Company is another publishing company that sends me royalty checks for my book that hit all major bookstores. So I have multiple streams of income. I ain't even touching YouTube, but make no mistake, people, I did a whole lot of blood work, sweat, and cultivated and developing into nurture to get those streams of income coming. You know, I retired September of 2023 from state government after working 23 years as a licensed clinical addiction expert for state government. So that's a lot of my working history that I was going to work, building my 401s, the state government matched my 401, and with my retirement check comes medical. I earned that. That money will be there for the rest of my life, no matter what. Even if my other streams of income dry up, my retirement income, along with my medical and my benefits that'll hit me for the rest of my life, is enough to pay my bills, people. Make no mistake. So I tell people, yes, you need a job, even if you're a content creator. You better have another job. You better have another stream of income, because your bills ain't going to stop. Your rent, your mortgage, your car insurance, taking care of the kids, all of that, for real, those bills are going to have to be paid no matter what. And bill collectors are not going to be waiting on no doggone YouTube check to hit so you can pay your bills. There are many content creators who really don't think about this. There are many content creators out here on these platforms. They're making all this content, but they're homeless. Yeah, you're homeless because you ain't got no primary source of income. You're homeless because you're relying on one source of income. You know, this is real talk, people. Yes, you need a full-time job. Yes, you need to be able to take care of yourself. For real, it don't matter if you're a content creator. It don't matter if your channel's monetized or not. It makes good business sense to have more than one source of income. Real talk, people. This is real talk. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to kind of revisit this topic, because I run across a lot of people in the real world. I listen to a lot of people on these various social media platforms talking about they finna quit their full-time job. Finna quit their full-time job just to do YouTube full-time. Really? Well, what if you don't make no money that month? What if you don't make no money as a content creator and your channel's monetized for good 2-3 months in a row? You know, because content creators whose channels are monetized, where we make the real money is in brand deals, and it takes time to get those brand deals, people. Well, companies are going to pay you as a content creator to run their product and services and brand across your monetized channel, but you got to get to that point. You ain't no wake up and all of a sudden you're at that level. For folks who don't put 4 or 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears behind the scene as a content creator, getting their channel monetized, getting their channel positioned to the level where companies are sending you contracts, you got to put in the footwork. So in the meantime, while you're developing and cultivating and nurturing your content in the course of 4, 5, 6 years to get to the level where now you're making significant money. But in the meantime, that 4, 5, 6 years, while you're trying to propel your channel to that level to get significant money, in that time frame, your bills still got to be paid. That rent, that mortgage, car note, car insurance, taking care of the kids, all of those bills still got to be paid while you're trying to develop and nurture and cultivate your content to get to the level where you're making significant money month after month after month after month after month after month. That's what a lot of people don't want to embrace and wrap their mind around. But folks, this is real talk. Ain't never in my life, I have never in my adult life ever had no one stream of income. Even though I'm retired, I'm still creating other streams of income. I ain't gonna sit and wait on no one check. No, and that's real talk, because what you're doing, the more streams of income you have, now you can invest more into your financial portfolio. You can invest more into building your wealth. You can invest more into putting more money into your emergency savings account. So now you got enough money in your emergency savings account where it can pay two years of your bills in the future, people. That's real talk. You know, I'm having conversations with people in the real world about things like increasing your emergency savings account, increasing your financial portfolio, and it requires decreasing your debt. And it requires, the key thing it requires to do that, you got to have a primary source of income with benefits, real talk. Because if you just out there working in these contract jobs and you might be making a little bit chump change, but if you just out there working these contract jobs and these jobs off these apps, but what you need to understand, people, is those type of jobs, you ain't getting no health insurance, you ain't getting no 401, you ain't getting no dental, you ain't getting no PTO, you ain't getting no paid time off, none of that, because you consider an independent contractor. But when you have a primary job that has a package deal with it, it's nothing wrong with that. Because what you're doing is, I tell folks, if you got a full-time primary job, think of that as a business relationship. You're going in, you're being hired by that company to perform the essential job functions of that job in exchange for that salary and benefits and 401, paid time off, sick time off, and this is real talk. Because if younger people don't embrace that, if they don't embrace the having the mindset that a full-time primary job, you got to go in and approach it like a business relationship. I'm going in to get my salary and benefits and pension. It's all business, people. It ain't personal. Go in, you can be cordial to people, but go in to perform the essential functions of your job and think of that as another powerful source, another stream of income. And you can still develop and enhance and cultivate yourselves outside of that primary job. I've done it all my life. When I retired September 2023, I still got my company, Paris and Associates Resource Center, which I've made a lot of money under my company. But what I need the world to hear is I have always simultaneously worked state government jobs simultaneously while I had my own little company outside of that, where I was still developing and cultivating and nurturing my brand, which my brand also creates another stream of income. This is real talk, because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Folks who can't really understand that when you have a full-time job, rather it's in corporate America, or rather it's in the military, or rather it was for any business, you gotta understand and embrace it is a business relationship. Job should not be your family. No, you go to these jobs they hire you to perform the essential functions of your job, and you should take your behind home and start telling all your business. But the problem is, a lot of people don't want to do that. They just, oh, I just want to work for myself. I don't want to work for nobody. Okay, that's fine and good. But make sure that you're paying into your own 401 if that's what you're going to do. Work for yourself. Make sure you're paying into your own 401. Make sure you're paying into your own medical and dental and life insurance for yourself and your family, which can be very, very expensive. Make sure you're doing all those things. Make sure you're paying your taxes. Make sure you're paying into Social Security if you're just going to work for yourself. You can't just be out there making all that money and you ain't doing all those other things. So yes, you need a full-time job. Yes, you need a primary job. Don't matter if you're behind as a content creator, because what's going to happen is you're going to set yourself up for failure when you get ready to retire and you ain't got no kind of retirement to fall back on. You ain't gonna even have Social Security to fall back on, because when you was out there doing all that 1099 work and contract work, you weren't paying into Social Security. So now you're behind, ain't got nothing. This is real talk. You know, I had a conversation with a group of people in their 20s. We were all eating a dinner together in the real world. And I'm just listening to these wise people at the dinner table for 2 hours. And they were talking about things like how they got their primary full-time job. They were talking about how they love to see their 401 growing, that financial portfolio growing. They love to see how that they're building PTO time. And they also were talking about, even though they got their primary full-time job, they're still doing things to have another source of income, to develop and to cultivate and nurture their own skills and talents, to have another stream of income outside of that primary job. And I'm listening to these people at this dinner table. I went to visit my niece a few days ago, and I'm just listening to these young people in their mid-20s, you know, having a mindset of people in their 40s, because they understand that I got to do this thing now while I'm in my mid-20s. So when I'm in my mid-30s, my financial portfolio looking good. When I'm in my mid-40s, if I want to retire with a pension, I can do this. So if you got folks in their mid-20s speaking this language and they understand the importance of doing this now, but at the same time, simultaneously developing themselves and cultivating them skills and their talents outside of that job to generate another stream of income. This is real talk. So when I hear people say, oh, I'm going to quit my job, really? So my question is, how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to pay your bills based off income that you're on YouTube that can fluctuate? Really? Or how are you going to pay your bills based off some kind of 1099 income? If you're out there doing 1099 work, that income can fluctuate. How are you going to pay your real bills that you got to pay every single month that ain't going nowhere? This is real talk. How are you going to be able to save your money in your emergency savings account for 6 months of bills sitting in your, that you can be able to pay your bills for 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 5 years in the future? You got so much money sitting in your emergency savings account where if you got sick or something, no problem. This is real talk. So I'm listening to these people at this dinner table, and that's the type of discussion I like to have. I like to listen to people who are talking real talk, and to be so young talking real talk, for real, for real. They understand that they got to get up and go to work. They got to perform the essential functions of the job if they want to keep that job with all of those benefits. For real, for real. If they get sick, they got insurance that will be able to pay that hospital bill. If they need to go to the dentist, they got dental insurance that's going to be able to pay that dentist. Try going to the hospital or going to the dentist and you're behind and ain't got no insurance. For real. This is real talk. So yes, you need your job. Yes, you need a primary source of income. And a lot of people, you know, want to glorify, you know, these 1099 jobs. They want to glorify all of this, but what they forget to talk about, if you're going to do that, make sure you set yourself up when you got all this insurance and coverage, your 401, you're paying into your taxes on a monthly basis, so your behind will not create financial disruption. So yes, you need a primary source of income, rather it's from a W-2 job, rather it's from your retirement, rather it's from Social Security. Yes, you need a primary source of income. It doesn't matter if you are a content creator. You know, when my YouTube chats here a month, I don't even keep up with it. You know, sometimes I forget, because the reason why I forget that money is hitting Because I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't depend on that money for my livelihood. I don't depend on that YouTube check not to pay one single one of my bills. So when I realize the money's there, I reinvest that money and I keep it moving. But versus for someone who's trying to live off a YouTube check, they sweating bullets. Because the YouTube check ain't hit yet, the rent due, the mortgage due, the car insurance due, the car note due, you need food in the refrigerator, light bill due, cell phone, every bill is due, but your check ain't in the mail. Your check ain't hit your account. And that's real talk. You can't tell your bill collector, oh, I'm waiting on my YouTube check. No, that's a recipe for disaster. You want to position yourself if your channel is monetized. Whatever money you make on a monthly basis, the money is there, it's coming. And when you realize it's there, invest the money. That's the position you want to be in. What I care about is making sure my retirement checks hit. My retirement checks hitting. My royalty checks hitting. My revenue for my company hitting. That's the real money, people. That's what I'm concerned about right there. Everything else is a caveat. This is real talk. So a lot of people, I'm telling you, they're going to set themselves up for financial destruction in 2025, trying to live off a YouTube check. No, you may have a child in college. Even though my daughter been out of college now for years, she's been in the military now going on 10 years. But I can remember when she was in college, people, it took real money. And I self-funded my daughter through college so she wouldn't get out of school on a truckload of debt, meaning I self-funded that girl to get through college. And it took real money to do this in order to keep that girl in school. This is real talk, to ensure she wouldn't be in debt for the rest of her life. I couldn't tell that school, oh, I'm waiting on the YouTube check. No, I had to get another job. I had to get a part-time job on top of my full-time job. Better yet, when I was getting my daughter through college, I had 3 jobs to self-fund her through college to ensure she didn't graduate with debt. That's real talk, people. Ain't no in the world I could have waited on a YouTube check because she went to a private college and that bill wasn't no joke. But you know what? When she graduated, she owed 0. I made sure of that. And that's what I'm talking about, real bills. You may have a child that want to get through college. You can't sit and wait on no YouTube check. This is reality talk, people. This is real talk. So share this information. Yes, you need another stream of income. It don't matter if the channel's monetized. My channel at a stratosphere where, I'm eligible for brand deals. That's where you make the significant money, but still ain't dependent on that. Because just like you can get a brand, you can lose that brand. Just like you can get monetized, YouTube can shut you down. That's real talk. And if that was to happen, fine. If I was to lose all my brand deals, fine. If YouTube was to shut me down, fine, because I'm not touching that money anyway. No, my real money over here that I worked years to earn, my retirement checks and my royalty checks took me 1.5 years to write my manuscript, to get my book accepted by 2 world-renowned publishing companies. I get those checks for the rest of my life, people. And I can bank on that. But I can't bank on YouTube income. And I need for content creators to understand that, because I've seen the biggest channels get shut down. I've seen it. I've seen the biggest channels get shut down. It ain't just smaller channels getting shut down. I've seen the biggest channels get shut down. And let me break this thing down to you. When the channel is shut down, that money that they were making as a content creator is gone. It is over. It is a wrap. You went from whatever amount of money you were making every month to 0 overnight. That's just like you were to go to your bank and you wake up one morning and all of your money in your account is gone. For real, then how are you going to take care of yourself? How are you going to take care of your kids? If you got a child in college, how are you going to keep that child in college if you just relying on one source of income? Really. And if you're a content creator thinking about being monetized, keep your job. If you ain't got a job, get one, because you're going to need one to pay your bills. This is real talk. So share this information. I've been wanting to touch bases on this for a while now, for real. And because like I said, we content creators, need to begin to have more discussions about this, because there are so many people in the real world. There's so many people on these platforms talking about they finna quit their job and do YouTube. Quit their job. Really? I'm just a little baffled, for real. So that's all I have. Again, I want to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel. My channel truly will not be where it's at without all of my supporters. And, I'm just so excited in terms of the trajectory path where God is going to take my channel for 2025. And, I'm going to just say one thing, it's to me, one of the things that helps me as being a content creator is all I do is focus on my content. That's it. What you see is what you get. I don't worry about no algorithms. I don't worry about no views. I don't worry about analytics. I focus on my content. Everything else will fall in place. So again, that's all I have. Simplify, Simple Fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.